talk about how Facebook chose me. This is my journey of how I received a Facebook grant, right? That's free money. Grants are free money for your business. So I received a grant from Facebook. And what I'm going to do in this 3-part series, today is part 1. But I'm going to take you through the entire process of how I got the grant, from how I found out about it all the way up until getting the deposit of the funds from Facebook. So I'm going to take you through that so you can better understand the process for yourselves. And I'm hoping that you're empowered to action, to take the steps to start applying for the grants, and you can be a little bit more familiar about the process and what you have to go through to get some of the grant money that is out here. So this is going to be a great series. If you're just coming on, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Do give this a thumbs up. Do subscribe if you have not subscribed already. If you want to continue to get notifications of the content that we provide, hit that notification bell, and do share this broadcast out, and do share our channel because sharing is caring. There are so many entrepreneurs, millions, that are still in need of financial relief. They don't know where to go or what to do or how to apply for these funds. So that's why we are here, being on the front lines to help you get your money. That is why I am here. So I'm very excited about this. I'm excited about the grant. I'm so thankful for Facebook for providing the grant. And in today's series, what I'm going to focus on is the research, the application, and the wait period. Okay. So in series 1, we're talking about the research, the application, and the wait period, because those are all parts of the process. So I hope you all can hear me and see me, because I want to make sure that you get all of this good information that I'm going to be sharing with you all today. Okay. So you can know that there is a grant out there with your name on it and you can get it. So let me just talk about Facebook really quickly. Right on the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, like around the March timeframe, Facebook, around between March and April, came out. They had announced this multi-$100 million grant fund program that they were launching to help small businesses that were impacted by COVID-19. Now, I was one of the first ones to know about that one, just like I'm the first one to know about a lot of the grants that are out here. And so I knew about the grant, I researched it, knew about the eligibility requirements, and found at that time I was not eligible, because that grant, although that one was applicable to all small businesses, okay? But I did not qualify because the business had to be in one of Facebook's local geographic areas in which they operate, or they have a physical location. And Cleveland was not one of them. Detroit was, okay, my neighbor, but Cleveland, Ohio was not on that list. But I knew that they had this multi-million-dollar fund. I knew COVID was still on the rise and businesses were being impacted. So I knew there would be more money to become available. So then Facebook added on to what they had already launched, right? They added some more millions to that to help women and Black-owned businesses at that time. Still, it was restricted to their geographic area. So I believe they added on about $40 more million. Okay, so during the pandemic, we also had so many issues of social injustice, so many racial issues. And so Facebook stepped up to the plate, and they really put together a comprehensive, and I mean $1 billion, and it might be multi-billion-dollar program to address racial equity, even going in the future. So it's a multi-year strategic plan that Facebook rolled out. And so I knew that they would be rolling out another grant soon, and they did. They actually, before the one that I'm talking about now rolled out, they launched another one for Black-owned creators, okay? And I applied for that one, and I'm still waiting on that one. In the interim, okay, in August, is when they launched this grant for Black owned businesses. Okay. So that's why I try to let you all know there's a grant for every single one of you all out there. I don't care what type of business you are in, what classification you're in, because people ask me that all the time. Well, why are these for Black owned businesses? Because we've been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic and left out of a lot of funding. And they know that, right? And so that's why you will see special grants for women, special grants for Black owned businesses or minorities or veterans. That does not mean there's not a grant for you. This one just so happened to be for Black owned businesses, and it launched in August. Okay. And so this was a 3-month process. So that's why I said it's going to be a 3-part series, because it was a 3-month period from beginning to the end of this grant. Okay. And so how I found out about this Facebook grant, again, I had already been in the know. So my antennas were already up. I was looking out for any new release from Facebook, either on their platform or through a press release, to come out about the grant. So I knew it was coming. So I made a point to just be aware, be on the lookout. You have to be in the know, right? You have to be intentional about these types of things, and like kind of look up from your laptop and your cell phone, and you will see these types of things that you may have missed otherwise, that may scroll across your screen while you're on Facebook. While I was waiting for a press release or some type of ad to come out from Facebook, one of my peers tagged me, or she messaged me on Messenger and told me about a group that she said the grant is coming out. It had not been released yet, but she said, go to Facebook Elevate. So I researched for Facebook Elevate, and it's a group dedicated for Black owned businesses and creators. So if you're not in that group, I recommend, if you're a Black owned business, that you do join that group. It's a lot of great information, resource, networking that is there. So I found the group and I just waited. So then Facebook made the announcement in August. So I came across the news release first. Then I came across the post in Facebook Elevate. After that, they created an ad. Okay. So they had multiple ways for you to learn about this grant. So once they released the news release, it was all over the place. So it was international news that they had this grant that was available. So as soon as I found out about it, I went to the website. I clicked on it to really understand the terms and conditions, the eligibility requirements, to make sure that I was eligible. And so I was eligible. So I went through those steps. And again, one of the first steps to the process in the application, before you even got to writing your application, is that they wanted to know what type of business that you had. So there were qualifiers, there were answers that you had to give to determine if they were going to move you on to the next step or not. So I went through that process. They took me through the next step. Once I got to that next step, then they wanted you had to put in your zip code. Okay, because they can tell by your zip code if you're in an underrepresented area, if you're in an area that's really more highly impacted by COVID-19. There's just a lot that they're able to tell by your zip code to determine if you're going to move forward in the process. So I put in my zip code, and they said, okay, you're qualified, and you move on to the next step, in which I can then submit my application. So I went through the application. Now I can tell you, from my recollection, it was not long. I tell you that these grants that are out here that are available, they do not require long dissertation, no long proposal. There are grants that do, but these that I share do not. They're so easy. They've been simplified. You don't need to hire a grant writer. I mean, it may have taken me 10 minutes to fill out the application, maybe 15. Because in this grant application, they did have an essay. Okay. So they had an essay. There are grant applications. You don't have to write a long dissertation, but they will ask you questions. They want you to be again, there will be something for you to tell your story, to share with them information that is going to help them decide if you are in the running for the grant, to help you stand out as a applicant for their grant program. And so they did. And that one of the question that they asked was related to not only the impacts of COVID-19, right, on my business, but what am I doing as a business owner to make a difference, to make an impact during this time? That was their question. They had one question. So some applications may have one, they may have two, three, or more, right? This one, I believe it was like between 300, 350 words. And they wanted to know about what I'm doing. And I was easily able to tell, you know what I'm doing, right? I've been helping so many entrepreneurs and business owners get access to free money for their business. So I told them what I'm doing, right? And I told them about how I'm pivoting my own business, right? Because I have a risk management company, right? I have multiple companies. I have a risk management company, and I've pivoted to marketing, media marketing for women leaders, entrepreneurs, and small business owners. So I took them through that process and through storytelling. This is all part of your story, because a lot of you are asked about what does it mean to pitch and tell your story. That is what it is, right? You have to be clear and concise and communicate, right, to the grantors so that they will choose you. And that's what I did. And then, of course, they ask you for basic information that they ask for everyone, basic business information, if business information that is going to help them be able to confirm that you have a legitimate company and that you meet the requirements that you certify that you meet. Okay, so that is a process. So, I told you it's a 3-month process, right? And so many people, are impatient, or were like, why are they asking for this information? Understand, you are a business. You are transparent. You are not. It's not like your private life. Your business is an open book. It's public information. And so they can and will ask and will seek and find information on you and your business throughout the grant process. So that's why it takes time. Now, for this program, Facebook dedicated $100 million for Black-owned businesses for 2020. Okay, and for this grant is going to at least 10,000 Black-owned businesses in the U.S. So this was for businesses in the U.S. They did have other grants for outside the U.S. international. There are international, but this one was specific for the U.S. Okay. And so I submitted my application. So there were 2 companies that Facebook partnered with. So, Facebook and these other companies, they don't administer the grants themselves. They fund the grant program, right? So they partnered with Accenture and a company called Submittable to administer the grant program and to handle all of the processing of the grants from your application, making sure that's vetted, to distribution of the funds. So Accenture and Submittable were the 2. The main correspondence came from the company Submittable, and Facebook explained all this in the application before you even applied, so that you knew to be expecting correspondence that could come from either one of those companies. And so all the emails that I have came from Submittable. And they wanted me to verify my email address, which is important, because understand, once you apply for the grant, they're going to email you. So a lot of you are asking me, okay, how are they going to notify me that I won a grant? Most are not going to call you. They're going to email you. They're not going to send you a letter in the mail and notify you. They are going to email you. So it is your responsibility as an applicant, as a business owner, to monitor your emails regularly. That means your inbox and your spam folder. I cannot tell you how many small business owners have lost out on grants for simply not checking their emails. And then by the time they check their emails, they realize that they were too late. They have responded too late, and they're now out of the running. So that is a tip right there. Check your emails. Spam. Everything doesn't always hit your inbox. So they ask to verify your email to make sure it's valid so that when they start sending you correspondence, you actually get it. Okay. And so again, it's so important of every single step that they ask you for, every piece of information, that you give it to them and that you don't hesitate. I don't wait. They ask me for something. As soon as I can do it, I do it. That day, usually within minutes, depending on what I'm doing, at least within an hour, I've done it. And then I check the application, because for this particular application, you actually had to create an account with Submittable. So once you submitted your application, you could go back and track your progress. You can know what your status is in the application. You can know if it's still pending. You can know if it's been declined. You will know if it's been approved. You can check your status. You will know if there's any other correspondence that they have sent to you. You will know if there's any additional information that they have requested from you, and be able to track within your account. So for this program, and for most, especially if it's a larger award, and I mean like 5,000, 10,000 or more, that's typically how it works. And so that was the application. So I submitted the application. I was super excited about it. Once I did that, I received an email from Submittable letting me know. So they sent me an email letting me know that my application was completed, that they did receive my application, because we all want to know that our application was received, right? And so that they did that. And that correspondence, all of it that I received, all came through my inbox. Nothing came through my spam folder, but just in case, I check my spam folder regularly. Because I know for some people it did, or so for some people, they just weren't checking their emails. And again, they missed out because they were too late in responding to the emails. Okay. So that's the application. So I researched. As soon as I found out about it, I applied. Then I notified my peers, all of you all. So I know a lot of my peers have won, or still waiting to find out if they have won the Facebook grant. But I acted quickly. So I always encourage you, don't delay, because I know I have seen some of my peers delay. They waited. And these applications, if they say the deadline, which the deadline for this one was August the 31st. So people are now finding out about it, like, how can I apply? It's already closed. Okay. It closed on August the 31st. And they tell you what time it closed. So if they say it closed at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can be in the middle of the application. If your application hasn't been submitted by the deadline, it will not be accepted. It won't even go through, because that's the use of technology, that they have it triggered. So that, so you don't wait to the last minute. I've seen so many people, I'll do it next week. And by that time then they forgot. So through this process, I notated everything on my calendar, and I used my status tracker to track this grant and every other grant that I have applied for. So I know exactly what the grant is, who's the grantor, when I apply, and what the status is, because that's important. So I can always circle back, and the information that I submitted, it's all in a folder. I can always reference back to what I submitted, because in any part of the process, there could be a problem. Something can happen. It's happened to me before in the grant process. Maybe something didn't go through correctly. So I'm constantly checking, making sure, because I don't want to lose out on this money, right? So I follow up. I remember exactly what I submitted. And then I can also use that for future reference for other grants. So that's why it doesn't take me that long to put through an application, because I already have it available. I have, several write-ups that, are along the same lines, and maybe I may need to tweak it here or there to the grant, but I don't have to rewrite it. So it saves me a ton of time. And so it will save you a ton of time if you do that. So that's what I did, even for the write up. I didn't write it from scratch. I took what I already had, what I've already been doing, and then crafted it into 300 words. I use Google Docs. They have a word counter, right? So they say it has to be 300 words or 700 words. Don't go over 300 words. Don't go over 700 words. So in Google Docs, they have a counter. So you can count the number of words to make sure that you're within the parameters. You always want to make sure you're within what they're asking you for. Okay. So research, apply. So I apply for this grant. Then it's a wait. It's a waiting period. This is where people get they miss out because they don't have patience. Patience is a virtue. Okay. I just stated that this grant took 3 months. Okay. So even during this, people were like, oh, this is a scam, this and this. They were saying all these different things while I was applying. And I was not paying any attention to that. I'm like, I'm going to get my money. I know that this grant is for me, and I'm going to follow through with the process. I don't care how long it takes for me to wait. And understand, you know, we have to get to the point where we accept, right, that we are more focused on the long goal, that we have delayed gratification. That's hard for a lot of people because they want it now. With these grants, it's not overnight. You apply and you think you're going to get the grant tomorrow or even next week. Understand that these companies go through a really thorough process. Now, some of these federal programs should have went through a more thorough vetting process. If they had the monies that should have gone to small businesses would not have gone to cyber criminals and other billion-dollar companies that it wasn't supposed to go to, and people that didn't qualify because they made up a business. It would not have gone to those people. It would have came to small businesses had they vetted it out more. Facebook and other grants vet out the applications. They're going through 10,000, and they have to go through every single application and verify you're who you say you are and your business is legitimate. They have to read through your summary, so they have to have teams dedicated to this. I can't imagine. I can't imagine because I have my own grant program that I launched, and we had over 300 submissions. And I know that was time consuming, and we had a panel of 6 or 7. So I can only imagine, them having to review 10. No, they're selecting 10,000 to give awards to, but more businesses than that have applied. It could be 50,000 that have applied already. I don't know. What I do know is at the end of it, they would have awarded 10,000. But that's a lot of applications to review to make sure that you're properly registered, that they can track you through their IRS and your state. Yes, they do that. And I've heard people say, well, why do they need to know all this? Look, you want people to give you money, you have to be willing to give up information. They can know all my information. I'm transparent as a business. So you apply and you submit your information, whatever they're asking for you to submit. And so, they were able to track down all of my information. And then one piece of this in the application process, it was 2 parts. So this grant is a $4,000 grant. So some people were confused on this. It's a $4,000 grant. $2,500 of it is a cash grant. $1,500 is for ad credits. Now, I wanted the ad credits. For small business, I don't know about you, but if you do Facebook ads, $1,500 to be able to put towards your Facebook ads is amazing. So I wanted that. So you had 2 parts of the application being processed. So they're processing the one app for the money, the other application for your to get your ad credits. So then they have to verify that your business account on Facebook. So then I had to submit information to Submittable regarding the ad credit, and you had to have opt-in, right? So if you did not opt in to the credit, you wouldn't get it. And even if you opted in, you only get the ad credit if you are awarded the grant. Okay. So I was awarded the grant, right? So I applied. If I'm awarded the grant, then I get the ad credit. If I'm not, I do not. And if they at some point cannot verify the application or your information for your business account, you would not get the ad credit. So in the application, when I submitted my business information, I submitted it again, then I waited. Then Submittable came back to me and said, we need you to correct your information. Not in the grant application, but the part for the ad credit. Because to them, based on their review, I had some missing account numbers. There were 3 different accounts that they were verifying. They were verifying my business manager account. They were verifying my business manager account, my ad account, and one other account. There were 3 that they had to verify, and they all have ID numbers. And your ID numbers had to match what they were asking for and be absolutely correct for you to get the ad credit, or you would not get it. So this is important for all of you all that did apply and you're still wondering about the status and where you are in the process. That is how it worked. Okay. And so I submitted that information, then I waited. Then they emailed me back, said, ma'am, in order to move you forward with this, for you to continue to qualify, we need you to correct your information. So guess what? Did I hesitate? Did I delay? Did I procrastinate? No. As soon as they asked me for that, I got right on it and found the correct information. I went through it. I did not rush through it. They were really good about taking you through the steps on where to find the ID information. So when you talk about these grants, they will give you the information you need. And they did. And so I just took my time, went through it to make sure that I was in the right place in Facebook. Okay. Because not everybody uses ads or know about your business. Not everybody have a business manager account, but you have the option to opt in, even if you didn't have a business account right now, and that you will submit it later. But if you submitted that you had one, you had to verify it, right? So I did that, and then I just waited. So research, I went through the research process. I applied, was very excited. I applied. I notated my status tracker, waited and monitored my emails, because I never knew what they may follow up with. I knew at some point they would up the when, or what for, or what the next step was. So I just wait for the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. Right? And so we just have to be patient. That is patience is a virtue. Don't let not being patient hinder you from getting a grant award. Right? Just let the process play itself out. Just do what you have control over. You don't have control over how quickly they respond to your grant application, but you do have control over your application, and you applying, and you doing the right thing, and you following up, and you monitoring your emails. So focus on what you have control over when you're applying for these grants. Okay. So those are the steps that I took. Okay. And so I will come back and we will go through, again, this is a 3-part series. I'm taking you from beginning to end of how I was awarded the Facebook grant. Okay. A grant is free money. It's free money for my business. It's free money if you get awarded. It's free money for your business to use for business purposes. Okay. So I will come on and talk about in part 2, the next step of the process. Now, before I do that, before I close out, I just want to remind you of my experience, what I've done. I've put into tools that are available for you all. So we have our grant tracker, because you asked me, how do I find out about these? I find out about grant opportunities, pitch competitions, scholarships, and I add them to our relief and grant tracker that I created. It's a free online tool on our website at www.shebosstalk.com. We update it weekly. It has national grants, international grants, state grants. We do not list out city and county because there's just too many, but we point you to where you can find them in your local geographic area, because that's important. While there are national grants like Facebook and other grants that are great to apply for, too many of you are missing out on grants that are right there in your local geographic area. That's where the bulk of the money is right now. I mean, millions of dollars are being given away to small businesses right now in your state and your counties and your cities. Relief for other types of things like rent, mortgage, utilities, childcare, food programs, car repair, burial. I even saw a program that was giving paying for burials. So the money is out there. So use the tracker. That is where you can start your research. That is a research tool. I did the heavy lifting. I do all the research. I put it on there and use that as your research tool. As I said, this grant closed in August 31st. Does that mean that's the last time they'll have a grant? No, I just told you. They had a grant in April. Then they extended it. They put more funding because they knew it was a need. Then they came out with a grant for creators. Then they came out with this grant, and I'm sure they'll come out with another grant. I don't know when, but they will. And so now you know your antennas are alert, and you see that it's on our tracker. And as we find out about it, we'll put it on the tracker. But know that just because a grant closes does not mean it's closed forever. They close application periods. They process those applications. They pay those out, and then they reevaluate. They may get more funding. And then they open up another round. That's how it works. Okay, so use the grant tracker. If you don't have it already, bookmark it, and then make it your priority to seek out free funding for your business. This is my priority every day. This is not something that I just do leisurely, because I want free. I know there's billions of dollars out there, and I want it for me and I want it for you, but I can't take action for you. I can just give you the information and make you aware. It's your job to be intentional and proactive, to go out and get the money for yourself and use the tools that we have to help you do it. We also have our very popular winning grant application cheat sheet and checklist that is available. If you do not already have it, I highly recommend you get it. It's $47. $47. And you just ask yourself, is $47 worth you getting a $5,000 grant, $10,000, $20,000 grant? Because like I said, you do not need a grant writer or a dissertation or a long proposal. I put everything, all my insider tips and tricks into the cheat sheet and checklist, because you don't want to go into these applications blindly, because I've seen people do it and they're like, what are they asking for? I don't have this. Well, you don't want to be waiting till you get to the application to figure out you don't have what you need. You need the cheat sheet to be able to help you know, what do you need? What will they ask you for, so that you can be ready? You need to know what is going to help your application stand out, what is going to increase your chances of being awarded one of these grants when you're applying in for a highly competitive grant. The Facebook grant is competitive, but I got it. But I didn't just get it by luck. Okay, so there's actions that you can take. The cheat sheet, every grant application, I don't care if it's one field that they ask you a question, and it says, sometimes they have a blank field that says, is there anything else you want us to know about you? And some people leave that blank, or some people put NA. That is a waste of space of a field to be able to separate yourself from the hundreds or even thousands of other people that are applying alongside with you. So it is imperative for you to take action now. Because while you're waiting, somebody else is applying and could get the grant that you should have gotten. So if you don't have the cheat sheet, get the cheat sheet. It's $47. If you know someone that is in need of financial relief, that is being challenged, that is on the verge of closing their doors, I get emails and messages every single day of people in this situation that are needing help. And I know you know peers that are in these situations. Please share our channel with them, our content and our videos and our resources. Send them the links. The links are in the show notes, in the description, and they'll be in the comments as well. We'll make sure that they are available to you. This is an important time. This is an unprecedented time for small businesses that have been so challenged and continue to be challenged. And as much money as we've gotten, if you've gotten one grant, that's still not enough. You have to keep going after as many grants as you can. I don't talk about loans. Loans are available, but why? There is free money. There's billions of dollars available, and it should be going to small business, and it should be going to you. So there's a grant with your name on it. Get the cheat sheet, get the tracker, and use those tools to help you get free money for your business. And then share our information. Help impact another business. One small action can help save another business from closing, or help another business reopen their doors, or help another business bring on staff, or help another business pivot their business, or scale their business. So we're in this together. We have to work together and be open to sharing with each other and supporting each other. That is the only way we can rise and thrive during this pandemic, because we don't know how long this is going to be here. And I know people earlier on was like, oh, I got it. I don't need grants. I'm good. And then months went by, the situation changes. You just don't know what's in the future, what's tomorrow. So you want to be prepared. Even if your business, is doing well, there's still opportunities for you to get grants. I don't know who would turn down free money. So if you want a grant, let me know in the comments. What would you do with it? Let me know in the comments. What would you use it for? Even if you're a startup, there is startup money available for your business. There's so many pitch competitions happening right now that's giving away $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. So, but will you be in the running? Will you be applying to pitch your business? So again, resources and tools. We also, one of my friends, she is fantastic, Precious Williams. She's Precious, the killer pitch master Williams. If you have not seen that video on how to pitch for free money, please go watch that video. There's so many ways to pitch your business. You're selling yourself. You're telling a compelling story. Also, get her books. She has books that will show you how to pitch, how to get investors, how to get free money for your business, how to pitch to get clients. We're giving you all the resources that help you thrive in business right now. As many resources I can give you, or referrals, connections, I would give them to you. So if you have any comments, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. I always circle back after the program to correspond to answer any questions or give any information that you need. If you need the link, let me know in the comments, and then I will make sure that you get it to the cheat sheet and the tracker. So I want to make sure that you're fully equipped to take action today, because like I said, grants are highly competitive and they're time sensitive. So as quickly as they open, they close just as quickly. So I want you to get yours, and then I want you to come back and share your testimonials. So I hope this video has been beneficial for you and empowering you to take action in your own life and in your own business to get free money. This is my journey. I was so excited about the grant, so I'm taking you through those steps. So I can't wait to come back on. I'll be back on Wednesday for part 2 of how Facebook chose me. for their Facebook grant. Thank you so much for tuning in. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact and continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a great day.